Go.
Okay, so today we're going to make a flip-flop wreath. The sun has come out, we've put all of our winter clothing away, and we're ready to put flip-flops on the door. Okay, so we've gone to a store and we've bought a collection of flip-flops. We love all these nice bright colors, and I went ahead and put these together ahead of time because basically all we did was take flip-flops. I glued them together, 2 up, 1 down, 2 up, 2 down, any pattern you want to use. And we've glued some flowers to them. We just bought a bundle of flowers, pulled them off, and have attached them in a circle. So we've made this flip-flop wreath. So this looks great if you wanted to just leave it like this, but of course we love ribbon, so we're going to attach some ribbon and put it onto a vine wreath. Okay, what we're going to do now is start with some 21-inch. I really like the larger mesh because you can bunch it up. If you go with the narrow, then sometimes you have to use a little bit more. So I like to use the 21-inch mesh, and what I did was I just went ahead and started on one side and gathered it in little bunches like this, bunched it together, take a wire, and what I'm doing is I'm putting it on the outside of this vine wreath, just like this, and wiring it down because I'm going to pop that flip-flop wreath right on top of it, giving it some more support than just the flip-flops themselves, and of course adding all the mesh and ribbon, giving it a little more dimension and just more fun. Okay, so I went ahead and did that. Looks kind of silly as is, but what I did was I put it on the outside. As you can see, I just punched little bunches, wired it down to the outside of the vine wreath, and I'm going to place the flip-flop wreath right on top.
Okay, go.
Okay, I'm going to take that flip-flop wreath and I am going to place it right on top of my vine wreath. Now I'll go ahead and secure that, and when that's nice and tight, we'll continue from there. Okay, so we're going to take a wire, get a little sturdier of a wire because that's going to help secure it. And what we did was I went ahead and I inserted it inside the hole of a flip-flop. You just slide it down in there, and once it goes through, tie it onto the back, pull it back around, and tie the two together. And then you just tuck the wire down. I went ahead and did it ahead of time so that we wouldn't have them sliding all over the place. And what I did is I just did it at the top and the bottom. I secured it right here. I went inside the hole, wrapped it through the back, tied it down, brought it back up, and twisted it around that one strap. So that's holding those flip-flops on there nice and sturdy.
It took forever to stop.
Still going. Okay, so with our wreath, we've decided to put a little welcome sign. We believe more is better. So we're going to go ahead and attach this. This particular sign had these little holes already drilled, which is very convenient because we can slide that wire, place it in the center of our wreath, and poke it down and secure it to the vine wreath. Okay, so we've secured the welcome sign onto our wreath, and now we're going to add our ribbon. Okay, so we have selected a few ribbons that'll go with our wreath. Now with this wreath, it's so colorful you really can't go wrong, but keep in mind when you're choosing your ribbons, just rule of thumb in order to make sure they all coordinate and come together in some sort of way. You can use any style, any texture that you'd like, but remember, try and have something in mind. In this case, we went with flip-flops, so we chose a flip-flop ribbon. What I did was I looked at the flip-flop, I saw that there were stripes and polka dots. So I looked into the beautiful collection of Reliant ribbon and found a stripe. So I'm going to go ahead and add that stripe that ties in the stripe on the flip-flop. Then I picked a red and white polka dot. So the red and white polka dot that is on the flip-flop ribbon coordinates nicely. So even though you have polka dot and stripe and flip-flop, that all goes together because of the colors. So last but not least, I pulled another flip-flop because obviously we're making a flip-flop ribbon wreath, sorry. Okay, so we're going to put those together and look at the wreath. Notice how all the colors coordinate. We're going to go ahead and find a spot for that, and we think it'll look great right here at the top. And just do loops, tie it off, place it there. Next, I'll make a bow for the bottom with some long tails, and I think that might just about... Okay, so I took my loops, I wired it down, and now I'm going to secure it. I left these tails because I want some of it to hang, and we'll trim that up at the very end. So I'm going to slide that into my vine wreath and tuck it in and place it on here. So once we've secured that, we did leave long tails. We weren't sure if we wanted them long or short, but we've decided that they could get in the way of opening the door. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut on an angle, making these little tails like a fish tail. So you may make some longer, some shorter. You're just going to fold it in half and cut it, and it gives you that fish tail like that. So do that with all of them. And then, you know, sometimes if you're not quite sure, you want to leave it a little bit longer. It's easier to go cut it shorter than it is to try and make it grow. Ribbon won't grow. You have to buy more. Okay, so to finish it off, we're going to make a bow. The way I make a bow is I'm going to take all the ribbons, create my bows, and put one inside of the other. So we'll start by leaving a tail, and creating our loops. So go ahead and create loops. And you can do, 5 loops, however you see, however many ribbons you're going to use. So I think I'm just going to leave it at 5 because I'm going to use 5 different ribbons. Otherwise, it can get a little overwhelming. We really want to focus on our flip-flops. Okay, so you just continue to make a bow. I've made the first one, I made the second one, here's the third one, and I stick that inside of this one. What I mean by bow is I went ahead and made a bow with just 5 loops, and then I attach it. I put one inside the other, and when we're done, we'll fluff it, the whole bow out. Okay, so we finished our bow, and we fluffed it all out nicely. We left the tails. We'll go ahead and cut them once we've secured them onto the wreath, and we've found our hole. And we're going to go ahead and place that nicely onto the vine wreath. Okay, so we've attached our bow. We left some tails. We trimmed them to have that fish tail at the end. And it is ready to hang on the door. It's good for a beach house, a lake house, or, Peggy, this one's got your name written all over it.
Woohoo!